Now that we've wrapped up how to optimize your LinkedIn profile, let's go on to the next step about connection. And this is really important. This is one of the key areas of growing your LinkedIn profile and presence and your business. So let's talk about that. So number one, connection. Did you know that 70% of the 830 million users across the world, 70% of them have less than 1,000 connections? Now, why is that such a big deal? Because you can have up to 30,000 connections before people can only follow you. So you can have up to 30,000 direct connections with people around the world, and 70% of users have less than 1,000. Now, what does this communicate? For someone who's active on LinkedIn, this is especially important. You need to be thinking about if your ideal clients and prospects are active on LinkedIn and they are found on LinkedIn, then it's especially important that you have a robust network, at least over 1,000. And it's very achievable. I grew mine from nothing to what it is today, and it didn't take that long to go past the 500 plus. That alone is a differentiator where when they see your profile and they see you've got 500 plus as opposed to 362 or 421, it shows that you're building your network. But if you can get over 1,000, you're already in the top 30% of all users on LinkedIn. That's a massive difference. Why is the number of connections important? And I want you to think about it in this way. Connections are opportunities. Connections are conversations. Connections are potential collaborations. The more connections you have, the more opportunities you have. The more eyeballs you get. When you start going into these steps that I'm going to show you on how to expand your LinkedIn presence, you're going to want to have as many quality connections as possible. You need to have well over 1,000, but let's set 1,000 as your benchmark if you're not there already. Here are some ways to do that. 2 tips for you. Number 1, anytime I'm waiting anywhere, for any period of time, I'm on LinkedIn. It's my favorite platform, and especially if it's Monday through Friday, whether I'm waiting somewhere, I'm making the most of it. Well, what I especially do is I max out my connection requests. Every week I get a notice like, whoa, hey, John, you're almost out of connection requests for this week. I max them out. When I start getting that warning, I do a few more and then I stop. So I always have a few connections available. If someone does reach out and says, hey, I want to connect with you, I want to make sure I have a little bit of capacity there. And it ranges. I've found it can be around 150, 100, 150, some more than that. It's still quite a few. And you're thinking, how in the world am I going to connect with that many people? Well, start with industries. First of all, if you've got first degree connections, go into your second. Filter out your connections by second degree. How many second degree connections you have? More than you think. And then you want to find somebody that is a great first degree connection. Look at their second degree connections. You're trying to find mutual connections that could be beneficial to you. So find them. Then use a template. If they're your best clients, they could be your best prospective clients. You want to use a template. And I only use a sentence or two. Something to the effect of, hey, I see that we have mutual connections with John Smith. It would be an honor to connect with you, comma, and I always personalize it. Listen to me. I always personalize with their first name, comma, and I put in their first name. It would be an honor to connect with you, comma, Greg. I always make sure I personalize it with their first name, but it's only a sentence or two, and it's like, why are you connecting with me, or why are you? Because I'm mutually connected with somebody you're connected with, or we're in the same industry, or I see that we share similar values or interests, whatever it is. Keep it simple, a sentence or two, personalize it with their first name, then just copy and paste that in. Now that's how you do it. That's how I do it when I'm at my laptop, at my desktop. Now, if I'm on my phone, it's a little bit more complicated. So what I do that way is I send out a bunch of connection requests, but I send them out strategically, either to people that are in the same industry, people in the same kind of role, people in the same metro area, people who I know have mutual connections. I'll just bang away and I'll send out a bunch of connections. Now, are all those likely to connect? No. So out of the ones that I'm sending out bulk batches of requests, a good number of them are probably not going to accept, but a good number are. So you want to make the most of your time. And those are 2 ways that you can start growing your connections. Your minimum goal is to get over 1,000. And anything you grow it beyond that with quality connections, just know that your opportunities and your conversations and potential collaborations are going to be that much greater than if you stay at a certain number that communicates to people who are active on LinkedIn that you're not active on LinkedIn. A growing number of connections proves to people who are active on LinkedIn, who could be your prospective clients, that you are also active on LinkedIn and growing.